Okay. Is everyone ready? Okay, first we'll go over the value criterion debate. Okay, my opponent's value criterion of the social contract is still insufficient to achieve justice. First of all, because we can still, a government under the guise of the social contract can still be acting unjustly. The social contract doesn't always ensure justice. Take, for example, again, torture. A government that uses torture in order to protect its own citizens is not a just government. Therefore, there must be other means with which we need to weigh justice. And the means that's most effective at doing that is the protection of human rights. Because a government that protects human rights is, in and of itself, a just government. That's the ultimate standard we need to look to today in preserving justice. But secondly, the social contract theory only looks at a government's obligations to its own citizens. It doesn't look at universal obligations. And since it's an international resolution we're dealing with today, we should look to justice on a global scale. And when we do that, we can clearly see that sanctions are not just policies. So let's get to some key voting issues for the round. My first voting issue is that all sanctions end up causing some harm. My opponent admits that sanctions do have that possibility. And you can look to some examples in the past where sanctions have caused immense death and suffering in the target country's population. Iraq, for example, it's estimated that sanctions there caused over 500,000 deaths. The magnitude of that suffering makes it so that this policy cannot possibly be just if those are the possible consequences. But secondly, even smart sanctions or specific sanctions that target specific parts of the government can still have harms inherent to them. Iraq, for example, an example I brought up in cross-examination, where we tried to sanction specific goods like turbines and generators and such, those still ended up causing immense harm to the citizens because of the collateral damage that resulted from that. Okay, so now my second voting issue is that sanctions are ineffective at achieving any real change in our government. First of all, because of their low effectiveness rate. Whether the percentage is 33 or 50, they still end up only working about half the time. But secondly, the rally around the flag effect is very key in figuring out why sanctions will never work, because sanctions only end up strengthening the illegitimate regime we would like to take down. Cuba, for example, our sanctions only manage to turn the Cuban people against us. And when those are the consequences, it's clear they're not effective measures in achieving any change. But thirdly, sanctions also harm our own citizens. First of all, because of the high cost sanctions cause economically. When they've cost the U.S. $15 to $19 billion, that clearly limits our own ability to protect our own citizens. But secondly, because sanctions end up causing much tension on the international stage between us and the sanctioned country and between us and our allies, they also end up limiting our ability to protect our own citizens. So for all these reasons, I continue to affirm. All right.
Today at the City Club of Cleveland, we have been listening to the annual High School Debate Championship, sponsored by the law firm of Baker Hostetler. We will return to this program in just a minute, but first a few announcements. We welcome you all here today and those listening on WCPN 90.3 FM, WCLV, WTAM, or one of our many radio stations across the nation. Radio broadcasts of the City Club are made possible through the generous support of Case Western Reserve University. Our television broadcast partners are WVIZ PBS, IdeaStream, and Time Warner Cable. Television broadcasts are supported by National City, now a part of PNC, and Cleveland State University. Our live webcasts are supported by the University of Akron. Each year, the City Club High School Debate Championship is sponsored by Baker Hostetler in memory of Patrick Jordan. This is not only a wonderful and lasting tribute to Pat Jordan. This support enables the City Club to invite high school debaters from throughout the region to attend, as well as classmates and the families of the contestants. Our sincere thanks to Baker Hostetler for their support of this important program, and to John Parker, who represents the firm here today. John, would you please convey our sincere appreciation to the partners and associates at Baker Hostetler. We are pleased to welcome to our forum today students who are here as part of the City Club student program. Participation of these students is made possible by the generous support of the law firm of Baker Hostetler. With us today are students from 17 area high schools. Many of these students participate in debate competitions throughout the year. They are Berea, Brush, Chagrin Falls, Cleveland School of Architecture and Design, Collinwood Students of Promise, Hathaway Brown, Hawkins School, Horizon Science Academy, Laurel School, Magnificat, Orange, Regina, Rocky River, St. Ignatius, Shaker Heights, University School, and Vermilion. Thank you for joining us today. Now, there's time for a question. If anyone has a question for one of our contestants today, we will entertain that. We just have that amount of time. So Deborah Agasa is here. She has the microphone, and she is our membership and outreach manager. So first question.
Ms. Postak, don't you think that the sanctions can lead to completely undesirable delays sometimes when dealing with things like the nukes of Iran? Don't you think that there are times, and probably this is one of them, that direct military action as is needed, as presidents have done in the past, and to prevent any nuclear threats or accidents or things like that in the future?
Well, with the negative position in this debate, you don't really have to look to any of the alternatives, nor does the affirmative, and we really only have to address the moral, or with the definition of ought, the moral obligations of the economic sanctions themselves. But personally, obviously, I'm not highly informed. I'm not, the supervisor to the the counsel to the president or anything. So, the exact situations of the occurrences are, slightly beyond myself in all actuality. And what exactly should be done isn't something that I feel I should pass judgment on. But in terms of what I actually feel about this debate, because the topics end up with something that most high school students aren't closely attached to, at least I know that after debating both sides many times and hearing both sides, I end up losing almost all opinion of the topic itself. And I can argue for or against whoever I'm talking with. So.
Thank you. Right there. The tabulations are in, and now to announce the winners and present the trophies, I'd like to ask Ann Jordan back to the podium.
And our winner today is Prasan from University School.
Today we have been listening to the annual High School Debate Championship sponsored by Baker Hostetler. Thank you. Congratulations to Sonja and Prasan. Thank you, debaters. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This forum is now adjourned.
For information on upcoming speakers or for podcasts of the City Club, go to cityclub.org.